We're going live in 3, 2, 1. Nah, just kidding. We're not live. The 2023 housing market here in the Phoenix Valley has been rather unique. All of the late 2022 and into 2023, we saw prediction after prediction after prediction that the market was going to or was currently in crashing mode, falling out of the sky and crashing hard. However, is that what we saw this year, or were there other changes to the market that brought forth a different outcome? That's what I'm here to talk about today in my 5-minute quick end of the year update. Hopefully this serves you well, and if you have any questions, go ahead and reach out and let's talk about it. So we're going to jump right in and we're going to be looking at the active listings to see kind of what's happening. That's a great measure to see of what the sellers and buyers are thinking about the market. Primarily the sellers, because they're the ones bringing the listings on. Looking at 2022, you can see that we had a great influx. That was where the market kind of went sideways. Everybody thought the world was over, the sky was falling, and it was done. Was it? Not really, because at the same time, there were buyers still in the market. And this is before interest rates went totally sideways. And we peaked here at the end of the year. And right after that, we saw an actual buyer's market here in Phoenix for the first time in many years, outside of balance or a seller's market, which was unique. Moving into 2023, you can see here the graph drops off and regains steam here in January in what is a positive trend for sellers. And because there are fewer homes on the market, that means that buyers have less choices. Sellers then gain some control. And we saw that trend almost all the way through the end of summer. You can see landing here in July. That's right about where we started to see a change. Coincidentally, we saw some of the highest interest rates of the last few decades at this time, and fewer buyers were then in the market. That caused the listings to start to pile up. Fewer buyers taking them off the market led to this giant gain yet again. However, in the long run, these are still fewer homes than what would be required to satisfy the number of buyers on the market, which is why we never saw a buyer's market this year. We got really, really close, but it was always still to a slight seller advantage. However, most sellers were still adding to the buyer's purchase with closing costs and different ways of buying down the rate to make it more palatable and affordable. Moving on to new listings, this is yet another measure of what sellers are doing. The bottom line here, the yellow one, that was how many listings were coming on weekly throughout this year. And you can see annually at the end of the year, we see a gigantic drop off. And here we are in week 52. Not much going on this week. In fact, this was lower overall than we have seen in the last 23 years. And we look at that here, new listings by month. And you can see January all the way to now, nothing. Let's go ahead and add all the way back to 2001. You can still see fewer homes coming on the market than has been recorded since 2001. Not a great sign. That was mainly because if you were a seller and you had, like most sellers in America, a less than 5% interest rate, you were thinking, why would I sell my house to go out and get a 6, 7, or 8% interest rate, pay way more money, and really probably not get any better of a house? Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't other people out there trying to move and change and, life happens, but by and large, fewer sellers coming in. Buyers also following suit going, why would I buy at 7 or 8%? And you can see that the brown line indicates a less than stellar number of buyers bringing homes off of the market, which is exactly why we saw inventory increasing throughout the year until just recently as it started to peak off like it typically does this time of year. However, it's not all doom and gloom. In fact, none of it was doom and gloom this year. You can see that here in 2023, we'll drop all the way down to December of 22 versus December of 23. We're actually up almost 6% in median sales price. I like median sales price because it gets rid of the outliers. Half of them are above, half of them are below. If you get a $10 million sale, it doesn't drag the average up. That number is just above the median, which is in the middle. So it's a great way to look at it versus average. Average is usually going to be skewed a bit higher, which is what you'll see more often in the news. probably not the greatest way of looking at it. Then we take our entire market and we look at what the Cromford Market Index. If you're new around here, what this is this is a firm here in Phoenix. We're the only place with this, and they've got 20 plus years of experience looking at our market alone. And what they look at is they look at every factor to come up with this index and tell us, is it going up, is it going down, is it left or is it right? And as you can see here in 2023, we are following right above 100. 100 would be a perfectly balanced market. Or in most cases, 90 to 110 is that balance range. Above 110 is going to be a seller's market, and below 90, a buyer's market. Looking at this, we didn't have a buyer's market except right here in 2022 for just a couple of weeks. We thought it might get there this year. It didn't. And we've already started to trend back up, ending week 51 at 105.1. And even right now, a little bit higher, which means that buyer demand is coming back. We've seen lower interest rates, and we have seen fewer homes on the market, which means sellers are going to gain the upper hand yet again, which is what brings us to our actual index right now at 107.2. That means that demand, 69.2, is about 30% below normal, and supply is about 35.4% below normal. Those two coupled gives us our demand or market index, and that tells us that the gas is almost on. When we hit green, we're going to see a lot more markets improving quicker. Now, talking about what's happened this year, there was a big winner this year for buyers, and that was with new construction. Looking at how many homes have sold thus far in 2023, 20,009 homes have sold new construction here in the Maricopa and Pinal counties. That's more than in the last 10 years, well, more than 10 years, has seen. That's for good reason. New construction had the distinct advantage this year of offering incredible incentives, both in price reductions, in options on the homes, and in rebates towards closing costs or buy downs of your interest rate. Whether that be a permanent buy down or a 3-2-1, a 2-1, or now I've seen 1-1s. You get a better rate as a buyer, your dollar gets stretched out further for more value, and, well, you get a brand new house. So this year we saw an incredible gain in new construction sales because of that, compared to the annual sales rate of resale homes or homes that somebody else has already lived in. You can see we're sitting at one of the lower numbers in a very long time, all the way back to about 2023, the last time we saw this few homes sell. And that's because the affordability rate has just been terrible for most people. As prices climbed up the last few years, interest rates came up right behind them, and it made everything much more difficult to purchase. That's not to say impossible, just difficult. And I like to always say that the best time to buy is when it's right for you. The market can't usually dictate your life circumstances, whether that's a move, a divorce, a baby, a new job, a promotion. Anything inside of that world might be a reason to move, and if it's right for you, then it's right for you. The numbers have to all make sense. I'm not going to make any predictions on is it going to crash or is it going to do this or that. My crystal ball is a little fuzzy, and nobody can really make those predictions. All we can do is look at the stats as they are right now. Did our market crash in 2023? No. Has it crashed before? Yes. We saw a huge change in the market way back when, but that was also a national level problem. This time, we don't have the same problems we had last time. It is different. I'm not going to say that it can't crash, though. Certainly possible. But right now, what we're seeing coming into the new year is that there are few homes on the market. While there are a lot, there are fewer than are needed to make a buyer's market. Buyers are coming back. Interest rates have come down. Builders are offering incredible incentives still. If you had an opportunity to buy in the month of December or perhaps even in January, builders are really working for your business. So that's a great opportunity to find something to suit your needs. For everybody else, you got to negotiate hard with sellers. A lot of sellers are still thinking in 2022 numbers. Clearly, we're not there. We're rolling into 2024 this weekend. So have an agent on your side, an advocate for what you're looking for and what your situation needs. That could be me, that could be anybody else, but make sure you have somebody that's working for you. I hope that you found this content somewhat helpful, insightful, maybe funny. This one wasn't all that funny, I'm sure, but I look forward to seeing you next year. I plan to get back into the video thing. I've had so many other things happening, but here I am. Like, subscribe, comment, do your thing. You know what to do. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one.